Hello. Okay, am I audible? I don't know if anyone is online. I guess I'll just wait for a few minutes to see if anyone wants to join live. Otherwise, I'll just go along with this. So yeah, this is not a pre-planned video. I just had some free time and I thought I'll get one live stream in and get another video into my channel. So I haven't prepared much for this, but yeah, it should still be alright. Okay, I guess I'll start anyways. So, what I thought of doing today is to show you how we can do web scraping with Python. So, web scraping is another thing which is quite common with Python. While you are doing freelancing, it is quite a common project to get like a web scraping project. So, people would generally want you to write a script that can extract text out of some website. So to give you a brief notification what web scraping is, for instance, if you wanted to know the price of a certain product, for example like the Nintendo Switch, so you would go and search for Nintendo Switch online. You would go to a website, for example Amazon. Then inside the website you'll find wherever the price is, okay, whatever these prices are, and you'll get the price. So this is like a manual process. If I gave you a list of say 1,000 products and I wanted the price of all of them, then doing each one of them manually will obviously won't be feasible. So this is where web scraping comes in. So web scraping would automate this process. So you would write a script in Python that would search for Nintendo Switch, then it will click on a link and go to the other page, then it will go through the page and try to find the price, and then it will return the price. So that is what scraping is. Now to give you an introduction of scraping, I would probably choose a simpler example than guessing the price of a product. Let's go with I don't know, maybe like finding the lyrics to a song. So suppose I have a song in mind, let's say Despacito. So if you search for Despacito lyric, first of all Google will directly show you the lyrics, that is okay, but what we are looking for is like a lyrics website which we could scrape. So Metro Lyrics is one of them. Then we have Easy Lyrics, and we have genius.com. Okay, so obviously you would find more than one websites which you could scrape from, but some websites are easy to scrape and some are difficult. Now, how do you figure out which websites are easy and which are not? So I'll tell you how you can do that. So if you refresh this page and see what happens, this is okay. So if you know the name of the song exactly and the page, then you get the page directly. But suppose you search for a song. So if I search for Despacito, then if you see, the page is loaded but the results are not there. What that means is these results are being fetched using JavaScript. If you are scraping with Python, you won't be able to run JavaScript. So any such pages are automatically disqualified. You won't be able to scrape these, at least not easily, as compared to say azlyrics.com. So on azlyrics.com, if you search for a song, you go to a page, and if you see, if I refresh this search results page, the results appear instantaneously. So these results are not being fetched after the page is loaded through JavaScript, which means there is no JavaScript involved, at least in the fetching of the results, and that means that we'll be better suited to use this page to write a scraper. So of course, in most cases you won't have the choice to which page you want to use. Most probably the client would ask you to scrape a particular page. In that case, you would go to the page and see if it is loaded using JavaScript. If it is, then I would advise you to use a JavaScript library to scrape the page. But if it's not, then you can go ahead and use Python to scrape the page. Okay, so I guess we'll use AZLyrics. It looks easy enough. We'll use AZLyrics to scrape the lyrics of a song. So let's just set up our project first. So let me open a new window. I'll make a new folder, and whenever you are starting a new Python project, the first thing you need to do is to make a virtual environment. And then I'll activate the virtual environment. Now I'll install the libraries which we need. So we would need two libraries. The first library which we need is a library to actually fetch the page. There is an inbuilt library called urllib inside of Python which you can use, but most people go with a library called request because it is much easier to use. So that is what I'll install. So I'll do a pip install request. This will install the request library which I will use for installing for fetching any project. For fetching any websites. Now once I have loaded a web page in Python, I would need to parse that web page to find the information I'm looking to scrape. To do that, there are lots of scraping libraries in Python which you can use, but I would suggest that you use something called Beautiful Soup. Beautiful Soup is a very popular scraping library in Python. You can go through the documentation, it is quite descriptive, but right now I'll tell you the just the basics for this. So first of all, we need to install Beautiful Soup. So this is done as well. Now we can start writing our code. So we'll make a new file. So let's just name this main.py. Now if you want to know the basic setup of Beautiful Soup, you can just follow the documentation. It will let you know the basic things that you need to start using Beautiful Soup. So first of all, we'll have to import it. Okay, now in order to scrape a particular HTML page, you would first have to provide the entire text of that HTML page into Beautiful Soup. Now what does this mean? If you are new to HTML, this might not look familiar to you, but if you go to any page, just right click and go to view page source, you'll see something like this. So this is how each and every website is written. This is something known as HTML. So basically there are loads of tags like div, li, and so on. This is what the server transfers to your web browser, and then your web browser uses this to give you this. So for example, a means an anchor tag or a hyperlink. This means that this particular element should have the text 7 and it should be clickable, and whenever you click on it, you should go to this particular link. So if we go ahead, this is basically this element and it is clickable, and when I click on it, I'll go to this link. Okay, so this is how websites work. So when you put a request to a particular URL, you actually get this text, and this text has all the text and all the links and all the buttons which are there on a particular web page. So to get any information on the web page, it is enough to get this text. So this is what you'll get when you use the request library with Python. So let me demonstrate that actually. So we can go into the Python shell. First we'll need to activate our virtual environment, and we'll go inside the shell. We'll import requests and we'll load the web page. So to do that, you just have to use request.get, and inside get you'll provide the URL. So URL for us would be this. So you get this web page. If you want to get the actual text, you'll use the text parameter. So if you see, this is all the text which is used to render the web page. If you see, we have the same anchor tags over here as well, and this is all we need to fetch all the information which is there on any page. So what info do we need from this particular page? So let us just assume that whenever we search for a song, the first result which we get is the correct song. Let us just assume that. If that is true, then after we have loaded this page, Python would have to somehow go through this text and find this link. Okay, how do we do that? So one way is to right click on the link, click on inspect. What this does is it will tell that where in this particular text is the code which refers to this link, and if you see, it is over here. Now all these tests are nested, all these tags are nested. What this means is there is a table. Inside the table there are many rows, and inside the row there is a cell which is td, and inside the cell there is our anchor tag, and inside the anchor tag we have this link. So this is the link which we need. So this hierarchy which we have, this is the hierarchy which we would use in Python to get to this link programmatically. So we know first of all that this link is inside a table. So let us just see how many tables there are actually inside this page. So to find all the tables which are there inside a page, there is a function in Beautiful Soup known as find all. So before we use that, we'll have to create a soup object. So if you look at the documentation of Beautiful Soup, you would see to create a soup, you need to provide the string. The HTML doc is basically the string, the HTML strings, and we have already saved the HTML string in this variable web page text, right? So this is what we'll provide in order to create a Beautiful Soup. So it would be web page text followed by HTML parser. I think I spelled it wrong, maybe. Okay, let me import it again. Okay, this works now. So our soup is done. Now let's find all the tables which are there inside this page. So that is simply done using soup.findAll table. So the find all function is probably the most useful function there is in Beautiful Soup. So if I say table, it returns me all the tables which are there inside the page as a list. And if I see the length of tables, I'll get 1. This means that there is just one table in this page. So that is pretty lucky for us. So what that means is, to identify this table, we'll just search for all the tables and take the first one. Because there is only one table, that means that we'll always get this particular table. So our table is tables 0. Now just to keep track of all the progress, let's just write this code over here as well. So the first thing which we did is import our libraries, which are requests and Beautiful Soup. Apart from that, we first loaded the page using request. The command for that was this one, web page is equal to request.get. And inside get we specified the URL of the page which we want to scrape. Now this would give us the response, but what we actually want is the text. So to get the text, we do webpage.text. Now once we have the text, we'll create a soup object. Beautiful Soup followed by the text followed by HTML parser, just to tell that we are parsing an HTML document. Okay, now that is done, we needed the table inside which our search results was. We found that it is actually the first table. So we do soup.findAll table and we take the first one. So once we have done all that, we would have our table. Now inside each table, so you can search for the table here as well. Yep. Inside each table you would have row objects. Row objects in HTML are denoted by tr, and the first row is used for these pagination links, and after the first row, each row is basically a search result. So we'll ignore the first row and we'll get the second row. So since we are programmers, our counting starts from 0. So I'll first do a table.findAll tr to get all the rows. The first row is the pagination. Index 1, which is the second row, is the row which we are looking for. So our result is actually, or let's just name it result row, is actually the second row. So table.findAll tr to get all the rows, and then index 1 to get the second row. So you see, we have made quite a lot of progress. We have zeroed down to this particular row, which has our link as well. This is our link, the link to the lyrics page. We need to get this. This is inside an anchor tag, and if you see in this text, there is only one anchor tag. So we can to get to this, we can simply do result row dot get dot find all a to get all the anchor tags and get the 0th one, because we know that there is just one anchor tag. We got our link. Now we need to get the href. So once you have got a particular HTML tag, if you want any attribute, you need to use get. So link.get href, this gives us the URL of the page where the actual lyrics are, and this is what we want. So next step would be to go to this URL and then actually fetch the lyrics. So I don't know if anyone is live, but I hope things are clear up till now. If not, please do drop a message in the chat. Okay, moving on. So let us update our code with all these new steps which we have written. So we got our table, then we want the second row, which we had named as the result row. So dot not so, we are searching inside the tables. So table dot find all rows, and we got the second one. Now inside the row, we looked for the anchor tags and took the first one to get our link, and link.get href gave us the lyrics URL. Okay, so far so good. Now we have this URL. The next thing to do is to load this page as well. So that's actually, let's just continue on the console. So the lyrics page is equal to request.get this particular URL, which is link.get href. We got the page. Now let's get the lyrics page text, which would just be this dot text. Now we make a soup object out of it. Soup is equal to beautiful soup lyrics page text, and HTML parser. Oh, we have the soup now. Now let us open the page as well. We are looking for these particular lyrics. Now, just like we did for the link, let us try to isolate where these lyrics are in terms of the actual HTML code. Okay, so we can see that there is a text center, there is a div with the class text center. Inside that div we have a few other divs. First one is just an empty div, then we have the link, we have the title, another empty box, and then followed by title again, name of the author, and this particular div then is what we're looking for. And this div actually does not have there is no good way that, or there is no easy way to identify this div. So suppose if this for example, if we were looking for this div, then this div has the class ringtone, and I'm sure that this will be the only div in this page which has this particular class, so that makes it a good identifier. But you can see that this div does not have any identifier. When that happens, what you usually do is, you have this div already, what you can do is you can identify the parent div and then go from there. So this is the class of the parent div, so we'll just copy this class. We'll use this class to identify this whole div. Let's just copy this. So the class which we are looking for is this. Okay, now we have a new soup. We'll try to find this class. So find all CLS look, and once you do find all, we'll just see what the length of the results are. If the length is 1, then our job is done. Okay, sorry, we are not finding for the class, we are finding a div which has this class. So the syntax for that is, whenever you are searching by an attribute, so you'll find you'll first name the tag which you are searching for, followed by the attributes to filter by. So the attribute is filter, and the value is CLS slope, which is this. So if you see, the length is 1, which means that there is only one div on that page with this particular class. So let's get that div. Since there is only one, we'll use the index 0, and we have a div. Now let's get the text from the div, and this actually looks quite close to the lyrics. Okay, let's see if we can work with this. Now straight away you can see that there is these are the new line elements, and we want to avoid those. So let us I don't know, one way we can do is to get this is right now just a single string. We want to break this up into lines, and let us use the new line elements to break it. So our lines would be div.text.split by the new line element, and we have the lines now. Let us just print them one by one. So for line and lines, print line. Okay, these are kind of the lyrics. We are getting some additional text as well, but let us just ignore that for now. We almost got the lyrics, right? We have some empty space, but close enough. Okay, so let us update our code. We have the lyrics URL. After that, we open the lyrics page. Using request.get lyrics URL. Once we have the page, we use the text to create a new soup. Beautiful soup lyrics page dot text followed by html dot parser. Then we found the div which we were looking for. We first specified the class, so we were looking for this class, and the div which we were looking for was soup dot find all. We want div with the class as class look, and since there was only one, we chose the first one. We have the div now. Now we'll print the lyrics. So for line, so first we got the lines from the div. So lines equals div dot split \n, and then we printed the line. So for line and lines, print line. Okay, this is done. Now let's run this. Python main.py. Okay. Div.split runtime object is not callable. Okay, let's see what happened here. It's actually not that happening. So one thing which I use for debugging things like this is the /i flag when running a Python script. What this does is, after the script is finished, you get a terminal and you will get all these variables in it as well. So let's see. Soup seems to have all the values. Let's see what div is. Div actually also has the values. Okay, the issue was that we had to use div.text and then split it. Okay, easily solved. Let us run it again. And here you have it. You have the lyrics. Now the best part is the name of the song enters here, right? We can easily change the name of the song to anything which you want. So let's keep it as this plus name, and name can be a variable which comes from the input. So we'll ask the user for song, and we'll show the lyrics for that particular song. So if you run the file now, it will ask you for the song. So let's see, maybe radioactive. Okay, this doesn't work. Let's try something else. Okay, this one worked. So if I searched for When I Come Around, which is basically a Green Day song, I got the lyrics. See, it didn't work for radioactive. I don't know why. Let's search and see what the issue was actually. If I search for radioactive and press enter, oh, you see where the issue is. So the page is a bit different because radioactive is the name of an album as well. We're getting an album with it. So it's kind of like an edge case. We can ignore it for now, but for all other song, so what another? See, now that I have to think about a song, nothing comes to mind. Maybe 500 miles. Okay. So yeah, kind of an hit and miss, but yeah, for something which we wrote from scratch in like 10 minutes, I think it is quite nice. Yellow. Yep, yellow worked. So yeah, it's not perfect. It wouldn't work for all pages because when you are scraping a website, you are basically just doing a trial and error thing. You don't know how that website is structured. You don't know what the results would be for different scenarios. So you're just guessing. And if the guess works for most of the cases, it is good enough. So I would say our solution is good enough. And but this is the basic procedure which you follow. You load a web page, you create a soup out of it, and then you try to isolate the information using the HTML tags in the classes. Okay, I guess this would be it for now.